All right, you guys, so today is the very first day and the very first video of 6 videos that are going to go into this nutrition curriculum. I'm Adam, I'm your coach, and this is my wonderful friend and client and also fellow business owner, Audrey. She's going to be joining me today, and together we're going to be offering you guys a very unique perspective with nutrition that you probably haven't seen before. We're not going to mindlessly give you just a little nutrition cookie cutter program,
Follow it anyway.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, those programs are usually not sustainable, they're heavily restrictive, and they don't even teach you why you're doing what you're doing. It's just, hey, go do this, plug and play. And by the time you're done with the program, you're like, okay, what do I do with myself now, right? This is all about sustainability. So we have 4 overall goals to this program. The very first one is I want you guys to understand extreme restriction, like the typical diets that you see out there, like the ketogenic, which is the most popular one right now. That extreme restriction, that extreme kind of dieting is not sustainable. The statistics prove it right now. Within 1 year, 80% of people fail. Within 2 years, that number goes up to 85%, and within 3 years, that's 95%. So you have a group of 100 people, 95 people basically failed by the time 3 years was up. It's not even a sustainable, doable thing. And I mean, Audrey, you've probably followed many diets in your lifetime too. You can attest to this, right?
Oh yeah, well the thing with keto too is you do so good and you stay on track and you're doing it, and then the minute you eat off plan, you have to start from square one again. And
exactly.
It's like all those yo-yos, and that starting from square one again is not doable. It's not sustainable. It's not it's not a lifestyle. It's let's get this in, let's get this done. Kind of thing where it's never going to stick. So to find something that will stick, that you can do for the rest of your life, is the goal.
Exactly. And that's literally the whole point of this, you guys. And if I had to add the second point, it's also to improve your relationship with food. Okay, food is not a crutch. Food is, I mean, for whatever number of reasons that we all go to food, food is essentially, you guys, fuel for the body, right? And over time, a lot of times we can learn to have a negative relationship with food that impacts us in a negative way. And so what we're going to also seek to do in this program is teach you how to have a positive, wonderful relationship with food where you can still enjoy the things that you like, but also learn how to create the foods, the meals, and a plan for yourself that is going to support the goals that you have and not go against the goals that you have. So that's one of the most important things about this, you guys. That's why we're not doing a whole meal plan.
Okay, and can I just say, you might not even know that you have issues with eating and food. Because when I first started working with you, you were like, okay, let's do this, and you need to eat this, and you need to do that. Apparently I had an attitude that showed up on my face, but I didn't even realize it because it's that years of conditioning of people telling you, you can only eat this, you can only eat that, only do this, only do that, don't eat this, don't eat that, that I was just tired of and sick of, and apparently gave me an attitude, which I didn't realize I had. So, I mean, so you might not even know you have massive food issues like I realized, and overcoming those and digging down deep to why has been huge for me to have a great relationship with food.
And you've done that. Like, this is something that Audrey's been working on for a long time, is learning how to have that good relationship with food. Because I mean, I think for most people also watching this, like, we get very black and white when it comes to food. Like, it's either good or it's bad, or I'm a bad person because I ate this, or I'm a good person because I ate this. All food was meant to be enjoyable. It's just, we have to make it in a more measured, balanced way. That's what this is about. Sometimes we end up coupling food with my escape of getting out of bad feelings or toxicity or maybe dysfunction, or you had a bad day and your mind has wired you to think that, oh, if I just go eat this or if I eat that, the pain will go away, right? I mean, I'm sure many people can identify with that. Like, even as a coach, I go through that sometimes, you guys. I find myself eating things that I don't ever want to.
It's the acceptable drug.
It is the acceptable drug. I mean, we're born wanting to eat food, right? Like, this is something that we want to do. It's in front of us, in the TV, wherever we drive. There's fast food stuff all over the place.
Well, and it's associated with life. It's associated with hey, let's go to happy hour, or holidays, or what's everybody bringing, and you have those traditional holiday dishes that people bring to Thanksgiving, to Christmas, to that you associate with memories. And I mean, it's huge in America of our association with food and different aspects of life. It's bad, and you know, things go bad, and you have ice cream and wine and a side of popcorn.
Exactly.
I mean, so it's just, you know, it's life, and to learn how to navigate life and not have attitude and not have feelings with it. You know, food is food, and that's what it is.
Exactly. And it's not, you know, also as a side segment to that, it's not something that you should shame yourself for either. You know, because you ate something or you ate a little bit more than you know intended to, it's not an opportunity for you to shame yourself and like go beat yourself up in the gym for the next 2 or 3 hours. Like, food is something we really need to work on in improving the relationship with you guys. I mean, that right there, because we often get caught, and many of you probably watching this, we often get caught in this cycle where it's like, okay, I've done really horrible. I've eaten all the things that I shouldn't eat. Been doing that for the last couple of years now. I need to punish myself. I need to go on a rigid, strict diet. I need to just restrict all the things. Just give me a list of everything not to do. Exactly, or the watermelon diet or whatever.
Or the lemon cayenne pepper.
Yes,
drink.
Yes. And we often do that, and we just punish ourselves, and then all we do is go from a negative relationship with food to another negative one. Because then you're just restrictive, and you're like, gosh, man, like I can't eat this. Like with the ketogenic diet, you can't eat carbs. So all of your favorite foods probably are almost gone when you go on the ketogenic diet. You can eat your proteins and you can eat your fats. But that's not sustainable in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you are used to eating a variety of foods, and if I just threw ketogenic at you and said only eat proteins and fats and throw away all the carbs, that's going in an extreme.
Well, and it's not even keto. Keto is very extreme to where you can't eat carbs, but every single one has a restriction.
Oh, absolutely.
Like paleo, I mean, you can't have dairy. I mean, so it's like when you don't understand, then you do it wrong. So like, you know, starting paleo, all I would eat was meat. You know, because that's what you think. And so, you know, with a side of vegetables. So, you know, it's just the misunderstanding of everything where, you know, if you look back years ago to to my grandparents' generation, maybe not yours because you're so young, but, you know, to my grandparents' generation where they ate natural foods and lived life and were perfectly fine. You know, and that's what it is. It's that creating that balance of, you know, eating good and moving and still enjoying life.
Still enjoying life. And I think that's pretty much the theme of all this, you guys, is the sustainability. Okay? Because what we essentially want is for you guys to be able to lose this weight. I mean, it's not necessarily about the weight, but
it's not about weight loss.
That will basically be the byproduct, right?
Yes. I mean, because I'm still on this journey with food, and which is so ironic because I run a meal prep company. So, you know, to be on this journey with food and I've never been about weight. So, you know, when you say on this weight loss, I get that attitude in my face and you're like, no. I like, you know, because I really don't care what I weigh. I just want certain results to help me reach certain goals.
Exactly.
So, you know, to just rephrase your wording, not on weight loss, but just to be healthy.
Exactly. And Audrey hit a really good point right there, you guys. The whole foundation of this is that you are healthy in your body and your mind, okay? As a result of that, when you get those things locked in place, when those become the foundation of your transformation, then the things that you want usually fall in place. It's not all about weight. It's about how are you with food? How are you eating? You know, are you eating foods that support your goals, or are you eating too much of the foods that don't support your goals? That's basically all it is, you guys. Sustainability and you know,
healthy comes in all shapes and sizes.
Healthy comes in all shapes and sizes, you guys. Okay, this isn't all about being an Instagram model with the 30 filters and all that other kind of stuff. It's all about what is healthy for you and what is sustainable for you, because you want to do this once, you guys, not 10 times. This is all you want to do is once. Okay, you guys, so here we're going to get into the actual goals and the actionable items that you guys can do during these first 1 to 2 weeks, okay? So the very first thing I'm going to make sure that you guys are aware of is that we want to be conscious of how much food we are actually putting into our bodies, okay? You're not going to change how much you eat. You're not going to change what you eat. You're simply just going to be more mindful of how much you're actually eating, okay? This is just all about mindset on this, you guys, okay? So, Audrey has done an amazing job at laying out all different kinds of variety of foods over here. What I want everyone to realize is that you can break down foods into different macro and micronutrients, okay? So we have proteins. I'm sure everyone's heard of proteins. Carbohydrates, of course, over here. And then also fats, which are the main 3 macronutrient groups. And then also we have things like vegetables and fruits, which are more micronutrients as well, okay?
But we are not going to count macros.
No, we're not going to count macros. I mean, guys, this is not about counting anything.
Nobody wants to do that.
No calorie counting, exactly. No calorie counting, no containers, none of that nonsense, you guys. This is how we make this sustainable, okay? You're not going to
And this is how I would be triggered, if you would like,
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about macronutrients and micronutrients, and you know, because you associate macros with the macro diet, and I couldn't do that to save my life. Literally, I could not have a perfect macro day when I tried. And so it's that thinking of things in a different way and not letting them detour you.
Exactly.
So, you know, just because he's saying the words doesn't mean that that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be counting macros. It's not going to be counting anything. It's just literally all you're going to do is think about what you're putting in your mouth.
Exactly. That's why Audrey's in here, to make sure that everyone knows that this is how it's done, and it's done in a wonderful and sustainable way, you guys. Okay, so let's do this. Here's how we're going to actually start just measuring things, okay? Making you a little bit more mindful on how much you're putting into your body. So let's start again with the protein. So you guys, the quickest and easiest way to measure your protein is to look at your palm, okay? The circumference and also the thickness as well. So we have an awesome protein source here, salmon, okay? Literally, you guys, all you gotta do is hold it up to your palm, section it out, boom, there's your protein.
And to make it even easier, so this is salmon from Costco.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a natural line of portion.
Yes.
So for people that have smaller hands, you know, half of that will fit in my hand.
Exactly.
So, you know, we have been conditioned, because this is packaged, we eat the whole thing. But with salmon, especially because it's higher in omega fats, and which are good fats, but still fats, all the less, you know, follow that line in the salmon and cut it, and then you pick the biggest side and eat that. No, because that's what I do. So, but you cut it in half. That's
we gotta
the
bring
thing.
some comedy into the middle of this too, you guys. I love it. But perfect. I mean, and that's the cool thing about hand portions, you guys, is it's literally just specific to your body. Okay, that's exactly how it was meant to be, anyways. And also, I'll add in this as well. For ladies, it's generally 1 palm in each meal. Okay, for men, it's generally about 2 palms in each meal. Okay, just give that a little context there. All right, another very common one is low-fat cottage cheese, you guys. Okay, that one's super easy to section out when it comes to your palm, right?
It's about half a cup.
Yeah, literally about half a cup in there. And then we have awesome diced up chicken breasts. Guys, this is all super easy.
And chicken breasts, again, Costco as a reference.
Yeah.
Whichever form of chicken you get from Costco, because let's face it, most of us get meat from Costco.
Exactly.
I can do 4 portions out of 1 chicken breast from Costco.
Yeah.
So it's that conditioning of, this is a piece, I must be able to eat the whole piece.
Exactly.
So no, that's literally a chicken breast from Costco is about 4 servings.
Yeah.
So it's just that looking at things in a different way to know, okay, this isn't just a portion, this is all day portion. Unless you want to eat a piece of chicken all day, then just cut it up.
I mean, like Audrey was saying, you guys, just because it all comes in the package doesn't mean that's all that you have to eat in that one sitting. Literally just start sectioning it out a little bit, you guys, and don't worry about being perfect with your portion sizes on it, okay? It doesn't have to be cut down to the 16th of an inch. Just do the best you can. This is all about being mindful, okay? Not being perfect. It's not about being perfect. Okay, so the next thing we have, of course, we got done with the proteins. We're gonna move over here to the carbohydrates, you guys, okay? So this is really awesome. This is Audrey. I'm gonna have you
Sweet
explain
potato. A cup of sweet potato.
There
Sweet
you go.
potato is amazing, even though you might think it sucks, because I did. Because, you know, when you're dieting and you start restricting, not even restricting, but when you're on these plans and it's like, do a sweet potato,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, sweet potatoes are gross. So, you know,
True.
so I have come up, I rarely ever eat a sweet potato like this, or I rarely ever bake it because
Yeah.
that's not what I want. If I'm going to eat something baked, it's coming with butter, sour cream, chives, and bacon. So
Let's be real, guys. This is how it always comes.
So what I have found to do with sweet potato is I cube it, I cut it, and you make it in other various forms to take the place of the things you really want to eat.
Exactly.
So you can make this in fries, and you can do it in an air fryer, you can do it in the oven. You can pan fry it. Pan frying is amazing because then it gives it that little bit of crunch, but it's still soft on the inside. And seasonings are my best friends.
You guys, seriously.
It's you know, because it's very little calorie and it changes the whole dynamic of the meal. So don't shy away from a sweet potato because they're gross. But you know, or it's that conditioning in your head of another sweet potato. You know, so you can do so many other things with a sweet potato than just bake it or just throw something on top of it or just eat it.
Exactly. Perfect example on there, Audrey. I love it. Of course, you guys, we have the traditional examples of beans, okay, aka legumes. These are a wonderful form of carbohydrate, you guys. There's a lot of fiber that's packed into here, and it's going to help with any sort of insulin spike that you may have, okay? I know that's kind of a lot of jargon that we don't need to worry about, but these are really wonderful, okay? When it comes to adding glucose to your body, it's going to kind of trickle it in rather than like a huge 5-gallon bucket on the face, okay? So these are really wonderful, of course, for carbohydrates. And then, of course, we have
summer squash.
Summer squash. So this is something very, where do you find this? Costco?
Anywhere.
Pretty much any market's got these.
Yeah.
Just as curiosity. And then, of course, cubing them helps them.
Cubing, I like to cube the squash because I throw them in meals. Because again, who likes to eat just plain old squash?
Exactly.
That's gross. So so I throw squash into bowls a lot. Spaghetti squash, guys. Who would have thought? I mean, because I'm not a big fan of that either.
Yeah,
but you throw it in a pan with some water and throw it in the oven at 350 for like maybe 45 minutes. And then you like scrape it with a fork and it's like noodle-ish. And and don't just think pasta sauce and those. It can be anything. Pad Thai is amazing with spaghetti squash. And to throw that different element, use it in place of rice, use it in place of pasta.
On the portion size for carbohydrates, you guys, it's going to be a cupped handful, okay? 1 cupped handful for women and 2 cupped handfuls for men, all right? Okay, you guys, so the next thing that we're going to work on is the fats, okay? So we have various examples over here of different fats, of course, that you can use and that you probably find in your own kitchen as well. So we have avocado oil, coconut oil, we have creamy, wait, what is this?
It's coconut butter.
Oh, it's coconut butter. Nice. See, this is why I have her in here, because she actually sees all these things and knows all these things. I love this. Of course, we have almond butter, you guys. We have sunflower butter, okay? All different kinds of nut butters that you can go. And this is 7 nut and seed butter, you guys. This is really awesome stuff. Now, here's the thing. The portions for fats are going to be a little bit less than you would have for proteins, carbohydrates, even vegetables and things like that. Fats are very calorie and nutrient dense, so you don't need as much. So we're going to go for 1 thumb size for ladies and 2 thumbs for men, okay?
Tablespoon.
AKA tablespoon. Perfect on that one. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is vegetables. You guys, vegetables, you can load up all day long on the vegetables, okay? Vegetables are, again, like the micronutrients I was telling you about. Vitamins, minerals, all those things that the body really, really wants are found in vegetables, okay? So with that said, guys, for ladies, it's going to be 1 fist size of vegetables in each meal, and for men, it's going to be 2 fist sizes, okay? You can never get enough of this, okay? The cool thing about vegetables is you can eat a ton of it, and there's not going to be that many calories with it, okay? Even though we don't care about calories, I'm just saying, this isn't going to, you know, you don't have to feel like shameful or guilty for eating more vegetables at the end of the day, right? I mean, it's just something that's really simple. It's wonderful. Your body loves these. Of course, we have bell peppers, which are amazing. Audrey, explain these. What are these?
Cherry tomatoes that
Yeah,
I
those
just
are
picked
amazing.
this morning.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, okay, let's talk about vegetables because
Let's do it.
I am not one of those sit down. Let's eat vegetables.
Let's eat like one vegetable at a time.
Bowls are your best friend.
Yes.
Like, you know, bowls are a big thing right now, but vegetables bring in texture, they bring in color because let's face it, if it's not visually appealing, you don't want to eat it.
Exactly.
And vegetables come in so many different textures, and you know, it can bring crunch, it can bring you know, that softness, it can bring all different
Cooked
kinds
or
of things.
uncooked, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Cooked or uncooked.
And it, you know, and start thinking differently. Like you can cook your squash and then throw in raw chopped up pepper to bring in crunch, but the steam from the squash is going to cook the pepper just a little bit, so it's not completely
It's making me hungry, you guys. I'm getting hungry. Perfect. You want to explain some of these over here, Audrey?
Yeah, let's talk about some grains. Let's,
all right, perfect.
you know, you have your brown rice and
Standard grains, right?
yeah, and everything. I love jasmine rice because it brings out different flavors and seasonings, that kind of thing. It's gluten free.
Exactly.
I have a lot of gluten free clients, so it's great to use in things.
Yep.
But I have discovered all these other weird things too. Farro, who would have thought? Amazing. Oh my gosh. So I have this bowl that I make that has mushrooms and chicken and peppers and farro. And it's so good. I can't even describe it, but
sometimes the ones that are like not the most like talked about, you guys, are actually sometimes the best grains because a lot of the grains that we find in today's society have been pretty heavily altered too, you know? A lot of these ones that are less known about are less altered as well. They're actually a lot healthier for your body as well.
And then you've got your quinoa. And again, season. Because everybody thinks, I have so many clients that do not like quinoa. And some of them are spouses or siblings or, you know, live in the same household that one person will eat the quinoa and one person will not eat the quinoa. And I never fails. It's like the person that doesn't like the quinoa has said, oh, I tried your quinoa and I think I like quinoa. So, you know, and it's seasoning, it's mixing it in a bowl, it's doing, you know, outside the box of just having a side of quinoa.
Exactly.
This quinoa pasta at Costco, again, doesn't have a weird taste.
Quinoa pasta, you guys.
It's, you know, and experiment with different pastas because some of them are really weird and some of them create a weird texture thing.
They're a little like squishy sometimes. Too, like overly squishy. You know, like
I really like this one, and it, you know, cuts down on.
I've eaten that one many times, actually many years as well. That one is a really good one. But yeah, perfect explanation for all those, Audrey. So again, you guys, just to recap one more time. Palm size of protein, 1 for ladies and 2 for men. A cupped handful of carbohydrates, 1 for ladies and 2 for men. A thumb size of fats or a tablespoon, okay? 1 for ladies, 2 for men. And then 1 fist of vegetables for ladies and 2 for men. And then of course, everything else, you guys. I mean, basically what we're trying to do here, you guys, is kind of open up your minds to the amazingness that food is, okay? None of this here is your enemy. This is basically just fuel for you. So what we're trying to basically show you guys to do is just start being a little bit more mindful, okay? Don't have to change anything, okay? If you want to this week, experiment with a few things here or there, but the expectation is don't change anything and just start being more mindful of your portions. Anything else you want to add, Audrey?
Think outside the box.
Think outside.
In the way that you have started a plan in the past is not this way. Like, think, you know, how else can I do this? Or if you see a meal and you're eating out and, you know, someone orders something or you see them making something, or it's like, oh, I could probably recreate that. They had something green, so try something green. You know, that kind of thing. Just think outside the box. Think differently about the food that you've been told to start eating and make it fun and make it good. And because let's face it, if it's not good and it's not fun, who wants to eat it anyway?
No, and I'm sure a lot of you probably have a picture in your mind that we were going to show you like brown rice and chicken today and broccoli and salads, and that was all the more we were going to let you eat. But guys, literally nothing is off limits, okay? Start measuring it out. Start doing it what's proportional for you and your body and your gender, and just
don't measure it.
Don't measure it, of course. Just measure it while looking at all the hand portions. So yeah, just follow it along in the app, you guys. There's visual guides in there, but other than that, that is your goal for the next 2 weeks.